We can see right here the difference between the number of matches the two players have been playing. Raxxaz has those 3 red stars and Viilipytty has those 3 silver stars. A huge difference, but I don't think it's necessarily going to matter that much because Raxxaz will not know what to expect from Viilipytty and Viilipytty will have seen what Raxxaz likes to draft himself.
I am very curious to see how this match ends up. Raxxaz picking up that Dominic as the first unit very, very quickly.
Yep, Raxxaz actually bringing a lot of damage himself, so actually these two players both known for their damage and their aggressive draft, so it's a very, very interesting lineup. Who has more damage in this case, or is one of the players actually going to bring some sustain units?
Viilipytty picking up that Murloc and Masha for first and second unit.
Yep. More damage from Viilipytty as well. Molong and Mashup, 2 incredibly strong units. In fact, I think these 3 units that we've seen being picked so far are probably the 3 hardest hitting units are available. So they've run out of really high damage units to pick. They're going to have to bring some support units as Raxxaz has finally pivoting to.
Raxxaz going with that Praha and the Shizuka for second and third unit. How will Viilipytty respond for his third and fourth unit?
Well, a Diana, some kind of wind unit would do quite well. Maybe a Chongpeng if Viilipytty really wants to go hard.
Viilipytty picking up that Tabla and Oberon.
It's an Oberon, that's right, the Light Fairy King. That is another really hard-hitting unit from Viilipytty. If you let Oberon move, that's going to be quite scary because he ignores defense. He also can ventilate. He has the same second skill as Ganymede to give Molong, for example, an extra reckless. That is a really frightening prospect for Raxxaz. I think Raxxaz will be wanting to try and take the first turn to avoid the Oberon doing anything like that. Maybe a Sekhmet would be a good pick.
Here we go, Raxxaz picking up the Vanessa and the Verad as his final pick. Oh, I don't think we've seen Verad in SWC just yet. And Viilipytty, 1 more unit for his final draft.
I really like the Verad draft. I do wonder if it's a high HP Verad to counter the ignore defense from Oberon. The Verad does bring a secondary HP lead, so Raxxaz always has access to a HP lead if the Vanessa gets banned out, which is potentially a likely ban. And on Viilipytty's side, I think the Oberon would be a good ban, or the Molong, both good bans, or just the Tableau to stop him taking a million turns, because Tableau actually synergizes really well with that Miles that Viilipytty has just picked up.
Yes, Viilipytty picking up Miles for the last pick. The bans are in. The speed leads both get the ban. The Tableau and the Vanessa are both banned out from this match. Viilipytty, Raxxaz, best out of 5. Who will take that first set? We got the Dominic with the HP lead and the Oberon with the attack lead, which is a 44% attack lead.
Viilipytty really wants the damage. He chose for the attack lead instead of the HP lead. Quite an interesting choice. Probably not what I would have done, but it's going to bring the damage. Is he going to be able to take out one of these units before they move? Most likely.
Miles failing to stun that Dominic. Praha cuts in, goes for the strip, manages to strip that shield and wield and landing dots on 3 of the 4 enemy units. Molong, Dragon's Dance onto Raxxaz's team. Additional turn from that Molong from Viilipytty's side.
This is incredible. We've actually seen a lot of violent rather than vampire Molongs today, and that proc was a huge moment for Viilipytty. And 2 units have been deleted. I think it's all over.
Wow, Viilipytty with the Reckless Assault taking out that Dominic. Oberon going with that one shot, taking out Verad. Shizuka bringing Verad to give Verad a turn. Goes for the freeze, lands the freeze. 3 out of 4 unit. Shizuka, all things in nature. Will you use it?
There is a small chance for Raxxaz to make his way back, but I probably would have saved all things in nature and for maybe a turn later in order for maximum efficiency. But at the same time, yes, there is possible. If this Molong goes down, if this Oberon is somewhat squishy, which I think he is because he did so much damage, I will be made to eat my words. And I think that actually this is nowhere near over yet. This Masha is not going to do very much damage. It's all on the Miles, I feel, because Miles can do really consistent damage, especially with so many buffs on the field that Shizuka has brought from her All Things in Nature.
There we go, Shizuka bringing that Verad again. Verad skill 2 is available, goes for it, stuns that Miles. Miles is not taking too much turns being stunned most of the time. Masha with the fast link goes into Shizuka. Shizuka resists the defense break. Praha putting in some serious damage into that light Fairy King. Fairy King hanging to life. He's out of this match.
Yeah, this is looking awfully close, but Raxxaz is now taking the advantage. Thinking back to what happened earlier when Viilipytty took out 2 units straight away, I do wonder if the Dominic was the right choice. If he'd taken out instead the Shizuka and the Verad, then the Verad's absolute zero would not have been available. I do think Verad has had a huge impact on this match despite not being alive anymore, because Shizuka has been able to use Verad's skills anyway. So instead, if he'd chosen to just take out those 2 units, I don't think the Dominant and Praha would necessarily have had quite the same solo potential as the Shizuka has been able and Praha combo has been able to bring for Raxxaz.
Honestly, boss, what a match has this been? Looks like Praha and Shizuka soloing 4 units on their own. The Praha with the support and the heals, and the Shizuka with the buffs. So here we go. Spin, grab, shot from Miles, failing to strip that Shizuka. Verad is back again at it, freezing that Masha and the Miles. Miles, additional turn, procs out of freeze.
Absolutely, and those cooldowns on the Verad are so low, and that means to Shizuka, whenever she uses Past Life spell, Verad is able to freeze the opposite team. It's just incredible to see. Shizuka has shown what an absolutely incredible unit she is today.
There we go, Dominic comes out to play and takes out that Miles. What a comeback from Raxxaz, taking that first point from Viilipytty. This is a best out of 5, Raxxaz 1-0.
Yeah, Raxxaz first blood there. Sorry, lads, I was beamed back into the future again, just looking at Berlin once again. Amazing. You're going to have such a blast. I'm back, but thanks for bearing with, guys. Do you know what? That was a great matchup there. Viilipytty, though, we thought the boss man would take the first game, but Raxxaz comes out guns blazing, Baus.
Yeah, I got so excited by those 2 units getting taken out. I thought it would be possible for Raxxaz to make a comeback, but it would be challenging. But the fact that Shizuka was able to abuse Verad's skills over and over again, she has the skill 2 Past Life spell that's able to keep the cool times quite low, so whenever she did it, Verad was able to freeze the enemy team, and Viilipytty just didn't really get many turns. Praha keeping the speed buff, just the team taking so many turns, despite the fact Viilipytty had 4 units on the field. Really, really incredible stuff, and I'm excited to see some more really tense matches and really close matches from these 2 players.
Yeah, me too, me too. We're going to dive straight into the pick and bans of Game 2. Can Viilipytty get back into this one? We'll have to wait and see. Let's head into the game, which is going to define it all, I think. Game 2, this best of 5.
Summoners. Oh my god, we're going to have another match like the last one? Here we go. Set number 2 is underway. Raxxaz versus Viilipytty. Pre-bans are about to come in.
Yep, that's right, Killer. The Verad, I wonder if Viilipytty is going to be so scared of the Verad that he pre-bans it. Probably not, because Raxxaz is known for a usual draft with aggressive units, and Verad was a counter pick, but Raxxaz does not want to deal with that Oberon again, because the Oberon does a lot for Viilipytty.
The Oberon gets the pre-ban, the Moore gets the pre-ban, Viilipytty gets the first pick. What will he draft?
I mean, it probably won't be a Nasha this early on, but there is Dominic or Masha available.
Here we go. Viilipytty with Dominic, and then Raxxaz responds with the Oliver and the Molong.
That's really interesting to see a Molong this early on rather than a Masha. I mean, Molong does well against any pick, but usually you'd see Masha getting picked a little bit earlier than a Molong. It means Viilipytty has the opportunity to pick up a Masha himself if he so chooses, but there is already a water unit on the field.
Viilipytty picks up that Colonel for his second unit, and the Wusa. Raxxaz, how will he respond to that draft of the Colonel and the Wusa that Viilipytty has just picked up?
That is a very interesting draft indeed. We've not seen a unit like the Colonel for ages and ages. The Colonel has kind of fallen heavily out of meta these days and is countered really hard by something like the Praha that I was thinking would be a good pick for Raxxaz. I think the Shizuka might see some use in this match as well.
Here we go, Raxxaz picking up that Praha just as predicted, boss. And the Changpang. Raxxaz picks up Praha and Changpang. Viilipytty responding with an Asha and one more unit.
I wonder if Viilipytty is going to bring a speed lead, because if Raxxaz gets the chance to move, he's probably going to control Viilipytty incredibly well here. Maybe a Vanessa or a Tableau, because then he can combine it with the damage from the Nasha or a Nana.
Viilipytty picking up another fire unit as his last unit, picks up that Rika, locks in that Rika.
I think a Tableau will be a really good pick from Raxxaz right now, giving his team some extra turns as well as making sure that he has access to a speed lead. He is going to be a little bit scared of that Rika, but I do think that he has two sources of reset. As long as he doesn't get really unlucky, he can keep the Rika in check potentially.
As predicted, boss, the Tableau gets picked up by Raxxaz. His drafting is completed. Both players taking a few seconds to lock in their bans.
I wonder if he feels the Kano or the Rika more. Both are good bans, but this Nasha is going to probably cut in between Raxxaz's team and take a turn. Let's hope that she doesn't proc too much and do too much damage for Viilipytty if you are Raxxaz.
Here we are, guys. Set number 2, Raxxaz versus Viilipytty. Merlong gets that first turn on Raxxaz's side, goes for this Dragon's Dance, manages to strip the Nasha and the Wusa, but fails to stun any of them. Changpeng goes for the strip lens, the defense break on the Wusa. Oh, Oliver, Mega Impulse Gun onto the Wusa, pushing back attack bar.
This is incredibly unfortunate for Raxxaz. He's failed the strip on the Rika twice now. Merlong didn't strip, Changpeng didn't strip, so he's gonna just have to take out the Rika just like that. And now Changpeng is gonna use Serious Matter, and the game is looking very heavily in favor of Raxxaz.
Yes, that Serious Matter pushing back those attack bars once again after Tableau not doing it not long ago. There we go. Nasha dealing some damage. Merlong, skill 1. Will he go for the defense break on the Nasha? He does. Misses the defense break. Changpeng, skill 1, pushback on the Dominic. Fails to push back. Wusa with the sleep. Fails to sleep. Mega Impulse out. Impulse Gun coming from Oliver into that Dominic. Oh, huge stun. Huge triple stun.
Wow, incredible scenes here today. Raxxaz has really taken advantage of the fact that Viilipytty let him use the first turn. I'm honestly surprised that Viilipytty's pivoted to the Wusa and the Kano. It's a very strange move for a player we know to be so aggressive against, you know, he was facing another player that is going to be aggressive. But to be honest, if I were Viilipytty, I would fight fire with fire. He's chosen to fight fire with, I mean, I don't know, not fire, fire with wood. And it's not worked out so well for him.
That's quote the prelims. He's chosen to fight fire with not fire. Brilliant. I love that, Bal. You're the best. That was interesting. I mean, guys, as well, you know, we've seen Viilipytty there. We're expecting big things. It didn't happen there. And 2-0 to Raxxaz. One more game, and he's clean sweeped Viilipytty of all players here, Killer.
I wasn't expecting like a 2-0 head start over Viilipytty. I was maybe like expecting trading blows, you know, one here, one there, but Raxxaz was just overwhelming with his draft, you know, pushing back the attack bar with Serious Matter with Changpeng, the Tableau resetting the attack bars, just giving those extra turns onto Raxxaz's team and just put Viilipytty in an awkward spot, and Raxxaz took full advantage of it.
I mean, Viilipytty as well here, Bowles. How does he turn it around here? And is Raxxaz just playing too well today for him to get into this one?
I mean, honestly, if I were Viilipytty, bring the heat. Bring your damage, bring your speed leads, take those turns, steal those units away from Raxxaz. Because I know that Viilipytty likes bringing those units as well. Why doesn't he challenge Raxxaz, take things away from Raxxaz's box rather than bringing some unusual units?
Alrighty, well, let's figure. I was going to say, I was jumping in there, Killer. Apologies, just to say, this could be the one, fellas. Raxxaz could do this 3-0 on Viilipytty. We're going to find out. Let's head in and see what happens next.
It is the one for Raxxaz, or a comeback for Viilipytty, because it is a best out of 5. Pre-bans are in. We got the Nasha and the Oliver pre-ban. Raxxaz picking up that Oliver first pick. I mean, Dominic, sorry.
That's right, Raxxaz has already taken a heavy damage dealer away from Viilipytty. And Viilipytty doesn't look like he's listening to what I said, because he's already bringing units that don't do so much damage like the Shizuka. For some reason, he's decided to bring 2 water units into a wind unit. Highly unusual. Maybe he is just too rusty. He's out of practice. He's not been playing very much.
Here we go, Viilipytty with the Shizuka and the Merlong first and second pick. Raxxaz responding with the Tableau and the Praha very, very quickly.
I'm really liking Raxxaz's pick right now. I would have preferred potentially a Chongpeng rather than the Tableau. Tableau is a rather early point for him to pick Tableau because Viilipytty can just take out the Leo right now or some other unit that counters the Tableau. But it'll be really interesting to see if Viilipytty does actually transition to some aggression. He's kind of locking in and showing he doesn't want aggression right now.
Double Dragon on Viilipytty's side. We've got the Verad and the Jemaya locked in on Viilipytty's side. I'm excited to see how this combo will work.
Well, I don't know what I'm seeing, but if Viilipytty manages a first turn, it might work quite well for him. But I feel like Raxxaz is perfect for him to pick up that Chongpeng I mentioned earlier. Perhaps bring out another speed lead, maybe a Tomoe, maybe some math in order to, or yes, the Moor is an excellent choice as well. Make sure you take that first turn against Viilipytty, potentially ban out that Jemaya, and just keep Viilipytty in control. Really smooth draft from Raxxaz so far.
Raxxaz picking up that Moor and Changpang for his final 2 units, and they are locked in. Viilipytty has one more slot. What will it be? Brings out that light unit. Asima as locked in as his final unit. Bans are about to come out.
Well, Asima has excellent synergy with Jemaya because even if you reset the Asima, Jemaya can remove that reset. But I was mentioning earlier, Jemaya is an excellent unit to ban to make sure Raxxaz takes those first turns because Raxxaz has 2 speed leads. Viilipytty is probably going to have to ban out that Chongpeng. Otherwise, none of his units will get any turns with their cooldown skills. The question is Raxxaz just going to be able to take him out with raw damage? I think that might be possible.
Shizuka and Changpang get the ban. They were both players waiting until the last second to lock those in. Viilipytty goes with a HP lead with the Verad. Raxxaz picks the Tableau speed lead, which is a 24 speed lead. Here we are, guys. Match point for Raxxaz to the EU Cup. And Viilipytty looking for a comeback. Praha gets that first turn, manages to strip 3 out of 4 units. Oh, Praha, additional turn. That's a very fast Praha. Goes for the damage onto the Asima. More follows up, goes for the stun and the strip. And oh, Asima not looking too good right now.
Indeed, that was quite interesting that the Praha moved before the Moor. I feel like if the Moor moved first, then Praha could have just used her Daydream skill. In the end, it didn't really matter anyway because Praha procced. But still, this Jemaya, if he does manage to get out of sleep, he can refresh the cooldowns. This Shizuka being banned, I think, was a good choice because if she had been able to get a chance to move and stay on the field, she could have done what we saw in match 1 by using those cooldowns, the Shizuka Verad combo or the Shizuka Asima combo. We're not going to be able to see that today. And as long as this Jemaya gets kept in check, then, well, I think that Raxxaz is going to take this match.
Wow, Jemaya going for that damage from the skill 2. More. Oh, almost taking that Verad. That Verad is taken out by Praha. Skill 1. Dominic. Improvisation. Weakness shot. Taking out that Jemaya. It looks like a clean sweep from Raxxaz. He has 2 points to 0. Merlong. Dragon's Dance. Reckless Assault. Or...
Yeah, Raxxaz is a bit of a king right now in this match. Viilipytty was the king a couple of years ago, but it looks like the king has been defeated. And we have a new ruler over this section of the losers bracket.